I'm gonna start off with talking about the second to last episode of Joe Millionaire. So this week things were a little different because the girls get to choose who to go on a date with instead of the guys picking. Martin tells the girls that once they go on their dates, they're actually not going to come back to the manor and they're going to go straight to their hotel room, which is interesting because that way the girls can't come back and kind of recap their nights. They just kind of have to like guess how everyone's night went. First date is Amanda and Kurt. Their connection is pretty genuine. I really like Amanda. As of right now, I don't know if Kurt is going to pick Amanda or Carolyn. I think his safer choice is Amanda because I don't know, everyone has something to say about his relationship with Carolyn, so it almost seems like he probably shouldn't pick her just based off the things his mom said last week. And we'll get into Carolyn later, so I'm not even going to talk about that right now. During the day, Amanda tells Kurt, like, don't pick someone just because you feel like you should pick them. Just go with your heart. To me, I feel like she's saying, don't pick me just because you feel like you should. You know, pick me because you actually feel like you're getting there with me. You know, like you feel like you could possibly fall in love with me. He makes a comment pretty much saying that Amanda has caught him completely off guard because it was really just all about Carolyn from the beginning. And I think we all as an audience can see that. You know, from the beginning, I was like, he's gonna pick Carolyn, but then as the weeks went on, I really felt like, okay, he has a genuine connection with Amanda, and I really like Amanda, and I want her to get picked, but I also want Carolyn to get picked, so I don't know. She talks about how she has a hard time talking about money because she comes from money. You know, up until last week, no one knew that she had money. She had never mentioned it, at least not on camera, and I already liked her, and I liked her even more after that because you already know she doesn't care if Kurt's the millionaire. She's literally just into him because she genuinely cares about him. And so I think that's very important regardless if Kurt was a millionaire or not, because you want someone who's going to love you for you, not someone who's just going to go after your money. So Amanda, to me, she almost seems like the perfect choice. It's just his connection with Carolyn is so strong that you want to ask her, you want him to make the right choice because you don't want to pick someone and then after have all these like unresolved like what if feelings towards the second runner up. Even if he doesn't pick Amanda, she's gonna be fine. Like, she's gonna find someone and she'll be good. She says she feels like she's falling in love and she's finally letting her walls down. I just don't want her to get hurt. You know, I don't have much to say about Steven and Annie's date besides it was cool that they went on a hot air balloon. I think Steven is going to end up picking Annie only because she has been his strongest connection. Even though he's connecting with Calla, is that how you say her name? Calla? I think it's a little too late. I think if there were a few more weeks left, he could possibly pick Calla and she would have more of a chance. So Steven and Whitney's date. You know, Whitney has kind of always, I really like her. She's beautiful, but she gives me the vibes that she actually does care who the millionaire is and that will have an impact on her decision. And so I don't like that. She comments on wanting like a partner to travel around the world with, and if she makes a comment like, if Steven is a millionaire, then that will fit into her lifestyle. She also mentions that she doesn't want to get engaged right away. Safe to say, I immediately when she kind of starts talking like that, I'm like, Steven, I don't know. I don't think he's going to pick her. Hopefully he doesn't, because he clearly wants to settle down. He wants a family. He wants the whole thing. And she wants to find someone, but she just doesn't want to settle down right now. And so they're not on the same page, therefore they probably shouldn't end up together. In Carolyn's date, Carolyn, I love Carolyn so much. I do. She's beautiful. Like, when Kurt mentions that, they had this instant connection since like the moment he saw her. If I was Kurt, I'd have that connection too. I mean, the girl is gorgeous. She's gorgeous. Beautiful body. Like, I can't even, but they always have these conversations. He seems really insecure about the fact that she has, not even the fact that she's a mom, not even the fact of her having a child, but the fact that she has another man in her life, aka her son's father. So he seems very insecure on that part. When they're filming, they don't show the audience every single conversation that each of them have, right? The episode's only, what, an hour long? They can't fit all of these moments in one episode, but it does seem like every single time Kurt brings up her life with her son, her life with the father of her son, she kind of, they kind of never break that conversation down. It seems like he brings it up and then she says something along the lines of, don't let fear like drive you away, you know, which is a valid point, but it seems like they haven't dug deeper into that conversation, and that's definitely something that needs to be done before they, you know, possibly end up together. You know, he mentions how she's tied to one spot forever because she has a child, because that child has a relationship with his father, and if he were to end up with her, you know, it's kind of like, well, now you have to settle down where I am because I have my family here, and obviously it's just you. It'd be easier for you to come, move wherever she is. I don't know where she lives. Does she live in Florida? I feel like she lives in Florida. Again, it doesn't seem like they have those conversations, which if they're so into each other, that's something that they definitely need to be talking about. Then Carolyn and Kurt jump into the pool. She tells him that she says, me estoy enamorando de ti, which means I'm falling in love with you in Spanish. When she explains what she just said, you know, I'm falling in love with you, he says, yo también. So I was like, oh, does he know a little Spanish? Maybe he does. Steven takes Calla to a corn maze. I really like Calla. She mentions earlier in the episode that she actually had like a very toxic relationship. I think it might have been her last relationship. And so she didn't even realize that she was so closed off until Kurt and Steven both mentioned it to her. I really like her. I don't think Steven will choose her. I think his connection with Annie is much stronger. I could be totally wrong. But I think had she opened up sooner, or had they, even if they were to add a couple more weeks on, obviously we're like in the last week or something like that, we're very close to the end. If they had more time, I do feel like they could have a nice life together, but I just don't see that right now because it seems like the connection is just kind of starting, and he already has such a connection with Annie that I think that's the only obvious choice to go with for Steven right now. I think Kurt is the one that has way more of a dilemma with Amanda and Carolyn. So Steven brings Eastern Corvin. I think that's what I wrote down here. I don't know who that is. I have no idea who that is. Is it just one person? Is it the person that was singing? Was it the two people that were there? I don't even remember, but I was just like, I don't know who this is. You know, then Calla goes on the date with Kurt and basically dumps him and tells him that, you know, she just feels way more of a connection with Steven. And so that was his first dump of the night. Amber and Steven's date, it was funny the way they did the editing, because again, I don't really know if this is how it went down, but it just seemed like Amber was talking and talking and talking, and he was just like sipping champagne, kind of like, oh my god, this is a lot. He kind of breaks it to her and says that it almost seems like with her, they can never just, I guess, be silly and be lighthearted, because it always seems like it needs to be so deep. And she is instantly, you know, she looks instantly upset. He asks her if he can give her a hug, and she's just like, no, I just want to go. And so I don't know, I really like Amber. I think she's beautiful, but again, similar to Calla, even though Calla has way more of a connection with Steven, I feel like maybe if there was more time, maybe if they had more of a connection right from the very beginning, then things would be better off now, but they're not. And yeah, her family too, her dad her dad and her brother, in the last episode, her brother's kind of talking, and there was a point where I guess Steven kept reiterating the fact that he's looking for an independent woman. And so her brother says something like, I know you're looking for an independent woman, like you've made that clear. And I thought that was so, like, it was lightweight shady, and I was just like, oh my god, that's so awkward. Like, is anyone seeing that? Like, I would have felt so awkward had I been Steven. I think he was just really nervous, and he was just trying to like you know, it's like you're put on the spot there and you're just trying to make conversation. And I think he was just nervous, and his brother was like, dude, I get it, like, you've said the same thing 10 times, stop. So on to Kurt's second dump of the night with Whitney. Kind of lightly rude about it. Like, she was just kind of like, you know, it's the connection's not there, like, you feel really disconnected. She talks about how Steven gave her all of this attention and gave her some reassurance and all that, which clearly we saw at the end that wasn't really the case. She basically tells Kurt, I'm gonna go with Steven. And so then Kurt calls Steven and tells him what just happened. Then Steven goes after Whitney and basically dumps her, which was very, you know, it was an elimination that we kind of didn't see coming. To me, it felt like he kind of panicked and was like, oh no, like, she thinks this is way more serious than it is, like, I'm cutting it off now. And I felt so bad for Whitney, but I genuinely feel like Whitney wasn't really all there. I think all of the girls felt like this was an opportunity to go on a show and maybe find love, but also maybe gain followers and, you know, all of that stuff. But Whitney definitely seemed more on that side to me, especially after she opened up about not wanting to settle down and not wanting, you know, that an engagement. You know, she wasn't really looking for an engagement at the moment. But yeah, that's where it kind of closes off with Whitney and the elimination with Whitney and Kurt. That's pretty much how the episode ends. Now, next week is the final episode. And I'm pretty sure Steven, I'm gonna say it now, I'm pretty sure Steven's gonna pick Annie. Even though I think he would do great by also picking Calla, but I just feel like the connection is not as strong as it is with Annie. I don't know what Kurt's gonna do. So I actually did follow Carolyn on Instagram, and I've been looking at her posts, and she does promote the show a lot. And her posts seem to me like Kurt possibly picked her. When you're part of a show like that, I think you're supposed to kind of post about the show and post like, you know, like you're not but her promoting the show. But it just seems like he picked her, and I might be wrong, but I think he needs to follow his heart. And if he feels like his heart is with Carolyn, then he should pick her. And, you know, hopefully things will work out for them. A lot of people have kind of put out there that they don't believe they could have a good connection. You know, Steven mentioned it a few times. His mom basically in the last episode said, after meeting Carolyn, like, don't you see in Carolyn all of your past relationships? Which is definitely not something that you want to hear from your family. Again, the safer choice I think would be for Kurt to pick Amanda. But if he goes with Amanda and doesn't pick Carolyn, there's always going to be that kind of what if. And I don't think you want that in a relationship. They're both very strong connections, and hopefully he makes the right choice. It looked like for next week's episode, there's gonna be an engagement. I didn't know that this was kind of like The Bachelor, to where you have to get engaged at the end. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's, I mean, you don't really need to get engaged on The Bachelor. Some people, as we've seen, clearly don't. But I didn't know this was one of those shows. So I'd be curious to see if these guys end up getting engaged and what happens in the next episode. But that's pretty much it for this recap. I had a beauty channel that I was really into for a point in time, but I just kind of, I'm over it. I decided I didn't really want to do makeup anymore, and so I'm choosing to kind of focus this new YouTube channel on things that I actually like to watch myself, which are recaps. They're just kind of little, I want to do all kinds of things, you know, little recaps, just thoughts on certain things going on in the world, maybe like some Target hauls, things like that. Maybe I'll even do makeup here and then. I still like doing makeup, but it's definitely not something that I want to do every single time I film. It's a lot of work. Sometimes, you know, I feel like I get in front of the camera and I'm not having a good skin day, and it's like the last thing I want to do is cake on foundation and do all of that. So I decided to put a stop to that for now. I'm sure I'll do makeup videos here and there when I feel like I have enough time and I really want to dedicate that. But as of now, I'm putting that on hold, and hopefully this video comes out good and the audio comes out well enough. I am filming from my car, which is something very new, something that I never do. I would have just filmed from my home, but I wanted to try this out and see if I could actually do it from the car. I thought it'd be kind of cool to just do it sitting down in my car, I have time to kill anyway. So I'll probably have like car videos here and there, but I'll definitely probably have more from my home, you know, with my little dogs on the couch or something like that. I want something like chill, you know, something like a chill vibe. That's pretty much it for this video.